Hi, I'm Mike Bellevue, and today we're back at Duelist Den, and we're going to be taking a look at one of the prettiest reproduction flintlock pistols that you'll find out there. This is Pedersoli's Queen Anne pistol. Of course, it's made by Pedersoli in Italy. This one came from Dixie Gun Works in Union City, Tennessee. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about the features of it. Then we'll load it up, take it out, and shoot her. Okay, so this is Pedersoli's Queen Anne pistol, and I'm going to be honest with you, this pistol has as much in common with a real Queen Anne pistol as RuPaul has in common with a real woman. And by that it means, at a quick glance, it kind of looks like a Queen Anne pistol. But if you actually get into it, it's nothing like an actual Queen Anne pistol. So it's be more accurate to call this a Queen Anne appearing pistol. So let me explain what the differences are. Now, the actual Queen Anne pistol came into existence right around 1700, somewhere between 1700 and 1710. It's an early pistol. It was quite popular throughout the 18th century. But the key difference between a Queen Anne pistol and Pedersoli's pistol is that in a Queen Anne pistol, the barrel actually unscrewed right in here. Doop, doop. It came with a barrel key. There was a specialized wrench. You took the barrel off. You were left with all of this. The lock plate and the trigger plate were actually part of this whole receiver area right here, the breech area. They weren't separate pieces like they are in Pedersoli's. So you would unscrew this, you would pour the powder right in here, and you'd put the bullet in here, and the breech area was cupped to take an oversized bullet. And then the barrel had a tapered forcing cone in it. So when you shot it, the bullet got squeezed down, the ball got squeezed down to bore size and go out, which actually gave it quite a bit of power, and probably would have given it more accuracy than you would expect. Except, of course, it didn't have sights because there was a screw barrel pistol, and they figured the sights would never line up in exactly the same place anyway. But these were quite popular. Now, they would not have been on the American frontier, or I doubt if many of them were on the American frontier. These were really gentlemen's self-defense pistols. They would have carried these in their coat pockets. They had quite commodious coat pockets at the time. And they would have used them to protect themselves from highwaymen on the road, or from, footpads. Today we'd call them muggers, on the city streets of England or other cities in the United Kingdom or on the continent. So you probably would have found maybe a few in the cities of America, but the cities of America just weren't that big, though they could be pretty rough. I mean, Boston had more than its fair share of crime, and so did New York and Philadelphia. So the better sorts might have carried these in American cities just to make sure they didn't get mugged and waylaid. Now, this gun has no sights, just like the originals didn't, because of the whole screw barrel configuration. It's a 50 caliber smoothbore, and the originals were all smoothbored as well. This was before the Brits got into rifling anything, a long time before. And it's quite an interesting little piece. So we're gonna load it up and take it out and see what it'll do. Now, personally, I've never fired this. I just got this from Dixie Gun Works. I ordered it because I thought it was a cutie, and I was curious about it. So we're going to shoot it with ball, and we're going to shoot it with shot, and we'll see how it does. Okay, this might be a little difficult to load on camera. We'll see. I'm going to load it with 35 grains of Swiss 3F black powder. So we'll just pour that right down the barrel. I don't have a loading stand for this, which is very handy with pistols. But I don't have one, so we're going to make do. All right, so I'm using a 490 ball. I'm just going to drop it right in. Just going to make sure it's seated. I'm not using any patch. I just don't have a patch thin enough for the balls that I've got. So instead of patching it on top of the bare ball, I'm going to send down a wad of blanket material. So let's go see what she'll do. Okay, so Pedersoli's Queen Anne would have been in no way a target pistol. This would have been a very short range defensive option. So we're gonna take it pretty close here. We're gonna use Steel Steve, and I'm gonna prime it. And we'll see if we can hit him. And from this close, I would not want to get whacked by a 50 caliber ball coming out of this. Well, smoothbores do present one advantage. You can load them with shot. So let's start off with 1.25 ounces of bird shot. I'm going to use the same 35 grain powder charge. Okay, now I'm going to add the shot. And I'm going to wad with a ball of tow this time. Okay, let's see what we can do. Okay, with the short barrel on this Pedersoli to control the spread, shooting with shot's going to be pretty much a contact range event. So let's see how we do with this clay bird. Well, we scared him. Well, I thought I had missed him, but as it turns out, I actually whacked him solid. It's just that bird shot did not go through him in most places. It just spun him around. I got, like one through in the center. Everything else just bounced off. That's a surprise. Okay, I neglected to film the buckshot loading sequence that I used for actual shooting. And I should have filmed it because it is pretty important. So I'm going back and I'm redoing it in the shop, take it out behind the house and shoot it out. But I just want you to see this because it's the way you should be loading shot. I tried to do away with the over powder wad, and I did that because the barrel's pretty short and I was trying to shorten up the load column, and for this kind of plinking I didn't really expect it to make any difference, but I really think it did. So for the buckshot, I loaded it the right way. Alright, I'm going to load it up with number 2 buckshot. This time I'm using the same 35 grain powder charge. Put that right in. Okay, now I'm going to do what I should have done on the bird shot. I just didn't think I would need it for this little bit of plinking. But I'm going to put an over powder wad of tow in, and that'll give it a little more strength, a little more consistency. Now we're gonna add in the buckshot, and I'm gonna top it with yet another ball of tow. And let's get out and see what it'll do. So I'm going to see if a loaded number 2 buckshot has any more impact on our clay bird. Well, I have no idea where that went. Okay, I'm going to aim at the center of Steel Steve, just to get an idea of where that buckshot's going. Alright. Well, that's not too bad. Okay, so I aimed right here. And I'm a bit high, but centered. So, alright. Now I've got an idea. Let's see if I can translate what I learned on Steel Steve to this clay bird. Well, I'd say that worked. Well, I'm feeling kind of bold after getting that clay bird. So, I'm going to try my luck on a 1 liter bottle of water right now. Let's see how we do. Well, he's bleeding, but he didn't go down. But by the time I could reload, he's going to be empty anyway. So, I think we'll just take the Pedersoli Queen Anne pistol and let's see how it looks in the highwayman's view. Okay, this video was pretty heavy on shooting, which we all like to see, no doubt about that. But if you're thinking about buying one of these, Pedersoli Queen Anne pistols, I want to give you some technical information that'll be useful to you, and I'm going to take you back to the shop to do that. But because this video was already running pretty long, I'm going to do a follow-on video in the shop that just goes through some of the aspects of the gun that we really couldn't do while shooting.